Hello everyone, my name is Carlie Hamilton and I am back here with you for another layout process video. Today's layout is actually a response to Kitty Scrapper's 500 Subbie giveaway, which I am really excited to take part in. So if you haven't heard of Kitty Scrapper, where have you been? She is awesome. I love watching all her videos, so go check her out. So the guidelines for her contest are firstly you've got to use a patterned paper background, which for me is pretty easy because I use patterned paper for most of my backgrounds these days. The second thing that you need to do is to use an embellishment cluster, which is another thing that I do a lot of these days. So, this is right up my alley. Then the third thing you need to do is to use at least 2 stamps on your layout, which I am really excited about because I have all these stamps here that I love, but I never use. So now I have to use them on this layout. So I'm very excited to finally use my stamps, and I really should be using my stamps more often, so shame on me. This layout is another one for my career album, and these photos are of me and my friends. We were at the Palace in Seoul, and they have these, those cutouts where you stick your head in them and you can take a photo of them. So we were dressing up as I don't know the words for them off the top of my head, but I want to call them samurais, but that's the Japanese word. So we're dressing up in these military things and palace things, and yeah, they were just cutouts that we're sticking our heads into. So I have a whole heap of photos here, and the tricky bit about these photos is how to arrange them on the page. And a lot of them also, they weren't cut to a similar size. I'd cut them out roughly. So I spent a lot of time cutting out my photos so that they fit, nicely. And then I had to cut them a bit more to make them nice again and cut them more. So I spent a bit of time. And I decided with my orientation or how I was going to lay them out, I decided to sort of create 2 4x6 sort of sections. So it was like I'm scrapping 2 photos. And I've also decided to split them up into 2 different sections and not cluster them together. I just felt that it wasn't working for me clustering them together, so I separated them. This here is my scraps. So this is where I hold all my pink scraps. And one thing I knew I wanted to do with this layout is firstly use up some scraps, but also create a bit of a messy mat for these photos. So I've pulled out my pink scraps. Now I'm going through all my blue scraps. One thing I haven't talked about yet, because I was blabbing on about Kitty Scrapper's awesome challenge, was that I also used some mist spray, and I just dropped that onto the background to give it a bit more interest on that background. So that's another thing that I've done on this layout. So that's all I managed to pull out from my scraps, but at least I used some scraps. It's better than no scraps. Now, I'm trying to think of how I'm going to tie this whole page together, and I decide to cut off a bit of this strip here and create a strip across the page to sort of bring everything together. So now I'm just playing around with paper to create my mats for my photos. And as you can see, I don't really worry about everything like each layer of mat being bigger than the last. So with this polka dot blue, it doesn't go all the way up across the top, but that doesn't matter. I am going to make sure that the biggest section of my mat does go around everything, but it's still going to be a bit messy, as you'll see soon. So I'm using this polka dot paper here to create my final layer of my mat. So I just sort of stick each layer down as I go. As usual, I'm using my double-sided tape. I find this the easiest option. Oh, and there's Nala coming to help. What a good help she is with the scrapbooking. She likes to leave her mark on most pages, usually here. So that's how I'm going to do my mat for that one. And for this one, I decide to have it a little bit skew-if and have some of the little polka dots sticking out to the side on the left there. There we go. So there we go, that's my messy mats that I decided to use for this one. I also mat this strip with this blue pattern. And that way it helps it bring it apart from the background, because they're such similar colours. It needed a bit of a lift. So this was my 60-second layout of the year, and it was also the first layout that I have done in April. And I also, once I'd finished this one, I took a photo of it with my phone and I uploaded it to Instagram. So I've only just joined Instagram. I know that I am super late to the club. But please, if you are also on Instagram, I need more friends. I'm pretty friendless at the moment. So please add me to your Instagram. I would love to have a look at your photos and everything. I'll put a little link below to my Instagram account. So yeah, let's be friends. Now I'm going through my die cut and sticker box. And this is from my embellishment center that I have next to me. And now I'm going through the dimensional box, again from my little embellishment center. And you may notice that these ones are a little bit, like what's actually in the box looks a little bit different from what's been in previous videos. And that is because I am now using, I now have it all set up for my month of me. So that's my month of me is a challenge that I'm doing where I'm creating an album during April that is all about me. So I have a list of prompts that I'm following along, and I'm also going to be recording about things that I've done during the month that may not be to do with the prompt. And at the end, I'm hoping to have a fantastic keepsake that I will have for years and years, and I'll be able to look back and see how I was back in 2014. So I'm very excited to get that underway, and you should see some videos with my layouts coming soon. Also, with the month of me, there is also a giveaway. So I'll put a link below to the video all about the month of me, and you can, if you take part, basically all you need to do is subscribe, and you can follow along, or you can take part. You can be as active as you want, but as long as you subscribe, you go in the draw to win a fantastic giveaway. So now that I have like all these embellishments out, I am sticking down the basic structure of my layout, and then I'm going to start embellishing. Now, as you can see, I don't often put my adhesive right to the edge, and that way I can easily tuck things under. So that's a really easy way to start making your layout look dimensional, is to have things cross over each other. So have things tucking in and layering over different things, and that really brings a sense of dimension to your page. As you can see, I put my photo a little bit too close, and so I wanted it to move it closer to the edge of the page rather. So I lifted it up, moved it across. And now I'm putting down the first elements that are going to be my main starting point for my 2 embellishment clusters. So I have a sticker down the bottom, like a banner sticker. That one's from Jelly Bean Soup. And then up the top there, the Still Laughing, that is from, I want to say it's a Dear Lizzie die cut. I think that's what it is, but I might be wrong, so do correct me in the comments below if you actually do know. And now I'm getting those cameras from actually a sheet of paper that I've cut out myself. And then a whole heap of these ephemera are from the Oh Darling ephemera pack, and also those words up the top in the top cluster are from a piece of paper from Maggie Holmes that I've cut out myself. So when you do get things like in ephemera packs and stuff, don't be afraid to cut them out and modify them to your own liking. They might not be just right how they are, but you know, this is paper crafting, so you can do what you want with them. You can cut them up. Now I am getting out my first stamp for this page. So one of the requirements for Kitty Scrappers challenge is to use at least 2 stamps. So this first stamp I'm using is from Dear Lizzie. I think it's the Lucky Charm collection, and I've used the chevrons or the little chevron arrows down the bottom of the page there. And now I'm just putting together this bottom cluster. And with the camera, I decide to ink it up in a matching ink to those chevrons, just to tie it in together. And I'm also going to use my foam to prop it up to add a bit more dimension to the page. So I'm sticking down the foam, and this will create some lift for that camera. There we go. Okay, now I am going to glue down my stuff there, and I'm looking at this, it's got words on it. It's from My Mind's Eye, and I'm trying to find a word that will go on this little cluster, and I end up finding some words, so I stick them down in the middle of that cluster there, using my tweezers so that I can get it in the spot I want easily. And I probably left a little bit too much space between those 2 cut apart stickers, but oh well, it's there. So now I'm going to use my second stamp, and this one is an old one from Love Elsie. I think it was from the travel collection, which might have been Toby, or I might be just pulling that out of thin air. So there we go. I've stuck down a heart stamp, and then I use my ink to go around the edges of that camera so that they're the same as the camera in the bottom cluster. And again, I am going to pop it up on some foam so that it pops off the page. I discard that third camera. I'd pulled out 3 cameras, but I put the other one back into my die cut pile. Now I'm going to go through some of the other stuff that I have on my desk to see if it works. And then I decide I needed a third stamp, so I've gotten out another love heart in a circle, and I stamp it on both of my embellishment clusters. Yep, so I'm going through my stuff. Decide to ink the very outside of the page, and that helps sort of make everything mesh in together. You can see a wire up the top. That's my mouse. I scrapbook right in front of my computer, so I get to watch YouTube channels or other shows while I'm scrapbooking. Okay, going through all my enamel dots now, trying to find ones that fit, and this Now and Then My Mind's Eye collection, the bluey green and the pink pretty much match this layout like perfectly, so I decided to just use this one sheet. So I'm placing dots around the page, usually at my focal points of my embellishment clusters, and it helps, you know, bring your eye around the page. Now I really want to bring some washi into this page, and earlier you did see me play around with my washi, trying to find something that might match. I'm trying to use, you know, washi is great because it goes on so many pages. It's a really cheap embellishment and it lasts a long time, but it's only good value if you actually use it. So I'm trying to get myself to use my washi tape more on my pages. So really easily I just tuck it down the bottom and up the top of my photos, and there we go. So there's the washi. And I decided not to use any of them. I'm pretty much done now. I need to add a title to the page. So that was my box full of all my alpha stickers. And I pull out some alphas that could work on the page. Now these jelly bean soup ones are they look like they go in this video. I feel like they look like they go, but when I was actually in person, they just looked way too dark and I didn't like them at all. So I stuck the letter back and pulled out these other jelly bean soup stickers. They're a little bit lighter than what's on my page, but and in the video they look a lot lighter, but I feel like these ones went so much better with how the layout looked in person. So I was very happy with this choice. As per usual, I am just dreadful at coming up with titles. So I end up calling this one Dress Up Fun. So you can see I used my scissors to like pop out the little center holes of letters. I find that's the easiest way to get those damn little bits out. There we go, Dress Up Fun. And then that is pretty much done for this layout. So I lift it up and give you a bit of a closer look at everything. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't already, go check out Kitty Scrapper. She rocks, and join in with her Subbie giveaway, or at the very least just subscribe to her. Do let me know in the comments below what you thought of this layout. I hope it's inspired you in some way. And I'll see you in the next video, everyone. Thank you so much. Bye.